Hey guys, Civilian Soldier 762 here, and today I'm going to do an update video on this werks AK74. It's been a little bit since I got it now, about a month. I've only had a chance to take it out a little bit. I've put a few hundred rounds through it, enough that, I'm confident in its reliability. I'm going to actually go today and shoot it some more. But what I really wanted to go over with is the pros and the cons of getting one of these werks. As some people know, some people don't, werks, it wasn't a huge company in Knoxville, Tennessee, and when they first started making these rifles, they were using Nodak Spud receivers that they had actually acquired through TGI, and now werks makes these on their own in-house receivers, which actually aren't bad receivers at all. But these rifles have been prone to some issues recently. For the most part, these things have got great reviews, but part of the problem is, in my opinion, this company got too big too fast, and their quality, kind of wavered. What happened, just to Classic Firearms alone, these guys are shipping 150 rifles a week. That's just to Classic, not Atlantic or any other places that, carried them. I don't even think Atlantic carries them anymore. They have James River as their new provider, because some of the issues they've had with the werks. But, with that said, some of the things that I encountered with this rifle, the main problem that they've been having with these is when they're building them, they're head spacing them a little too tight, and that stems to a couple things. These guns come with KG gun coat finish, and a lot of people love the KG gun coat. I'm personally not a big fan of it, especially, I don't know if it's the way they apply it or what, but it's really thick and actually adds it adds some material to all the parts. And when they build these, they build them before finishing, obviously, and then finish them, so it kind of throws everything out of spec and makes parts tight. So basically what I did on this rifle, and I will show you in just a second, let me get my other hand and pop this open. Now the first thing I did, and this is something I do on every AK I feel that needs done, is smooth the action out, and I did that by reprofiling the shape of the hammer and polishing it, and that really smooths things up. Even on my Arsenal AK I did that. So but I'll show you now that this thing has got a really smooth action. There's no resistance at all. I can probably drop the bolt carrier out of it almost. Okay, and the main issue that I noticed I was having with this rifle is the headspace on it was a little tight. Not so much that it was causing me to have jams or the bolt to hang up like some I've seen. A couple people I've seen were having serious problems. What would happen is their bolt would go into battery and their locking lugs wouldn't actually lock up all the way because it was so tight, and then it would get stuck and you'd really have to whack the handle to get it to break loose. Mine wasn't that bad, but it was fairly tight, and it sometimes it took a lot of pressure to pull back. Now that's easily remedied. Depending on how out of spec it is, one way you might have to do it, or send it back and they would have to do it, is to press your barrel pin out, which I guarantee they're not going to give you a new barrel, but what they would do is press your barrel pin out, re-headspace it, and then drill for an oversized barrel pin and press it back in. The other option, if it's like mine, which was just a tad tight, not too bad, is on the back of the bolt where it engages the locking lugs. You just gotta be really careful doing this too. You don't want to take too much off. But I took all the KG gun coat off the locking lugs and off the back of the bolt, all the contact points. I polished the locking lugs on here, didn't remove any material from them. And I just ever so slightly removed the tiniest bit of material, little bit at a time, not much at all, and just constantly checked it until it was perfect. and now it cycles, feeds great, you know, it shoots perfect. I haven't had a single problem with it. So, you know, I've wrote some pros and cons about these guns, and you know, the pros, the price, you know, they're $599 compared to, you know, an SGL 31, which I would love to have. They're $1,400, so you know, there's a big price difference there. And a lot of people compare these to Arsenals, and honestly, I wouldn't. And it's not that these are bad guns; it's just that they're not Arsenals. An Arsenal is a, you know, it's got the Russian receiver and the Russian cold hammer forged barrel. That's the heart of the gun, and so to me, that's, you know, a big deal. That's why these, no matter how nice, would never be an Arsenal. But you know, the second thing is they come with, you know, new unissued surplus parts, which is really nice. The parts were all immaculate, great looking parts. You know, the build quality, despite the tight headspacing, is actually good. The rivets all look great, the sights are great. You know, they did a good job building it. It just, I don't know what, you know, how they're getting their headspacing a little tight like that. I'm not sure, because it's not just mine either. I've seen two people I personally know have had that problem with their rifle, and it's something that has been more common recently, and I believe that's why Atlantic actually quit carrying them. So I'm not really sure what the issue is there with that. But another thing that's, you know, nice about these rifles is they come, let me see if I can get in there, with a zigzag, the laser cut zigzag muzzle brake. It's not enough light probably to focus right. But anyways, instead of having the standard half moon cuts, it's got the zigzag laser cut. Which, I mean, honestly, I don't know if it really performs any different or any better. But as far as collector's value, they're a little bit more expensive. So that's nice that it comes with that. And then, you know, once I've, you know, tuned this rifle up a little bit, you know, it's great shooter. It's just one of those deals, like, you gotta be, if you're willing to do a little bit of work, you can get an awesome rifle for $600. You know, I couldn't have got anything near as nice as this for what I paid and what I got into it. It didn't cost me a dime to do any of the work. I probably got literally an hour's worth of work into this thing, maybe two, not including staining the stocks. But basically what I did, since I didn't like the gun coat finish, I just took some high temperature engine enamel and I painted all the metal parts with that, and it turned out really nice. This light's making it look kind of shiny, but it's not shiny, like, too bad. I just wiped it down with oil too, so. But I've used that finish on other guns and it actually holds up really well. You know, obviously changed the grip. I sanded and stained the furniture. It was just some, you know, beat up surplus issued furniture that came on. That's one of the reasons it was so cheap too. But then internally is where I did most of the stuff. Like I showed you, I had you know, fixed the headspacing issue on the bolt, and then I also polished all the contact points on the bolt. And let's see here, I polished the bottom of the carrier just right here where it rides over the hammer face. I reprofiled the hammer face and polished it, and then I polished and took the gun coat off the rails. And also one other thing I had to do is this extractor here, which wasn't causing any issues cycling or anything, but the bolt was just touching, like kind of dragging that extractor rail. So what I had to do was with the file just barely take a tiny little bit off, you know, without changing the shape of the extractor, and that really helped. So you know, like I said, with a little bit of work and, you know, time, about 2 hours, I got this thing running as good as any AK I own. So all in all, you know, I'm happy with it. I was a little disappointed at first, but for $600, you know, you can't really beat it. I'll show you some video from shooting it today, and take care, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know.